Hello everyone, I am Heather. Welcome to Heathered Knits, and I am coming to you in 2022. Welcome for those of you who are coming and checking me out for the first time. I hope that you enjoy what you see and your time here, and welcome back to all of you who are returning viewers. Thank you for coming back and checking me out. As I said, I am Heather. I'm coming to you from my home in mid-Michigan, where I live with my two children, Abby, who is 16, and Philip, who is 11. Guys, I had every intention of recording like an end of the year recap of 2021 and getting that uploaded for all of you, and then doing like a separate kickoff video for 2022. That did not happen. I'll explain why in a moment. So this video is going to be a really brief recap of what I knit in 2021, and then kind of a preview thinking about going forward into 2022. So for those of you who are new, this is a place where I discuss my knitting, but I also talk about what's like going on with my life with my two kids. I am a long haul COVID person, so I talk a little bit about my journey with that, and this is just the space that we do this. I do also have an announcement that I'm going to make probably toward the end of the knitting section of this video. I'll save talking about the life stuff towards the end and updating all of that, and if you're not interested in that, that's fine. If you're only here for the knitting, that's fine too. No worries there. But what I did want to say is 2021 did not end all that well, and 2022 has not started off all that well. The week in between Christmas and New Year's, I had both of the kids. We were planning on it just kind of being really calm and chill. Abby had a few appointments in there, trying to work some things out with her, so we did that. And then we had friends over for a game night. And then the next day, one of those friends started to feel ill. Turns out he tested positive for COVID. So then we have been in isolation. Abby started to not feel well. It's been a time of things. Real quickly, we all have been negative for COVID. I did get Abby tested. She was negative. She just went back to school today. Today is Thursday, January 6th. So I'm finally getting a chance to sit down and talk to you and recap 2021. So let's just jump in and do that. First of all, I want to say thank you to all of you who watched my Vlogmas videos. I know it wasn't like a particularly exciting and gripping Vlogmas, but I thank all of you for just sticking with me and being there with me for that. I really did enjoy all of your words of encouragement, and I just want to thank all of you who were with me through the duration of 2021 and who've been with me through the duration of this journey that has been very difficult and very challenging. So thank you to all of you who have been there for that. I did want to show you what I finished through the Advent knitting, and I will tell you guys that I went into 2022 with 0 knitting projects on the needles. 0. None. Nothing. Which means I have a really big finished object to show you that has been on my needles for like 5 years. So 0. So we went into 2022 with a completely fresh knitting slate. So the first thing I'll show you is the big one, right? It was the Advent knitting, the stocking. And I do have my stocking finished, so I am going to show that to you now. And I'll kind of go through the sections so you can see each one of them and see them up close and see what it all ended up looking like. So here we go. So here is the finished stocking. And I'll let you see the sections. this thing, I am so happy with this and how it turned out. And I did hang it up by the Christmas tree. I finished it after Christmas because if you watched my Vlogmas, you will have recalled the whole cowl knitting fiasco that I miraculously pulled off. I don't know how. Well, I do know how. I stayed up super late and knit until my hands hurt. But it's done. It got done. It got gifted. I have no idea if he liked it. My brother is special needs, and so he's not necessarily the most demonstrative in expressing emotions. And sometimes I think he doesn't really know how exactly to convey gratitude. So that makes it really difficult because you're like, did you like it? I don't know. So I don't know if he liked it or not, but anyway, it got done. It got gifted. My conscience was cleared. That was that. I also finished the socks that I was knitting for my cousin. I haven't seen her, so I haven't gifted them yet. I do think I may block them. I don't typically block socks, but because these are a heavily patterned sock and they're a gift, I think I might. And these were, oh, I didn't tell you what this was. So this was the Snow Day stocking. It was a colorwork stocking that was done by Remembrance Pottery, I think, in collaboration with Legacy Fiber Arts and their advent calendar. So the advent calendar was dyed specifically with this pattern in mind. And so every day was a different section of the stocking that correlated with your mini skein for the advent calendar. So that's what this was. Okay, sorry about that. These socks that I knit for my cousin, these are the Samphire socks from Helen Stewart. They were part of one of the sock societies. I can't recall which one. I have one on a sock blocker because I could only find one of my sock blockers. I still haven't put away my bedroom yet. That's a January goal. Big time. And then I have another one off the blocker in case it works. So here is the Samphire sock. And then I don't know if this helps you see the pattern at all. Really enjoyable knit. Honestly, I enjoyed it quite a bit. The pattern became really easy to memorize, and if you can read your knitting, you're able to kind of pick up on it and kind of roll with it. So it was a nice, enjoyable knit. I think that she'll like them. The yarn is just from Cascade Yarns, so it's nothing particularly special. I think there's a number that's the colorway. I couldn't tell you what it is. I don't have the band over here with me. I apologize for that. But that's what these are a gift for my cousin whenever I might see her again, which is hard to say. But they're done. So they're ready to go so that when I do see her again, I can gift those to her. And given the way the weather has been in Michigan the last couple of days, she would probably appreciate them because it's not been very nice. It's snowing a little bit right now. But the big one, and honestly, I don't even know how I'm going to show this to you guys. Maybe I'll have to take a photo, or maybe I'll do a video and insert a video. And you can see this because it's a blanket. I finished my Cozy Memories blanket. 5 years in the making, and I have finished my Cozy Memories blanket. So I'm going to do the best that I can to show this. I don't know how well it's going to work, but I'm going to try. We'll see how it goes. We're going to make an effort at showing this. Maybe I'll do like 2 sides, right? Because then it will be more manageable. Like do this and then turn it over and do that. Let's do that. Okay, so here we go. Cozy Memories. That's one side. That's the other side. It's done. So the squares I did, they're 23 stitches per side, basically. So that's 46 for the square. I don't remember who does the pattern. I know it is on my Ravelry page. I have been really remiss with my Ravelry updating. I apologize for that. I've just had a really hard time using Ravelry lately, so it's not current or accurate. However, this is on there as well, and so the pattern is on there if you are curious. I think it's a free pattern. Pretty sure it's a free pattern. But anyway, it is done. And now I'm like, what am I going to do with all my leftovers? I still have a granny stripe blanket that I'm working on, and that's crochet. And so I probably will focus maybe on finishing that in 2022 because that's really reasonable to finish. So this is done. I'm not going to block it. I even did the ends. Like, there are no ends. I'm not going to block it because I don't feel like it needs to be blocked. It's a good size for like one person to like sit on the couch, toss over your lap. Phil has been using it on the computer. It's good. I'm happy with it exactly how it is. I don't feel like anything more needs to be done to it. And it feels very good to have that off my needles. I don't know what I'm going to do with my scraps going forward. I'll have to think about that. And maybe start another scrappy blanket that's something that's a little bit different. I know there's lots of options out there. I just haven't looked into it because the Cozy Memories blanket feels like the blanket that never ends, but it ended. So I'm not going to put a border on it. I'm just leaving it like it is because I may decide that I could add to it. I probably won't, but I might, and the option is there. I don't think I'll start another one, at least not right away, maybe eventually, because it is really good to use up the scraps. So that is finished. The only thing that I am currently working on is a Sockhead hat for Philip. I knit Abby one last year in the fall. She asked for me to knit her a hat and she picked out some yarn. And so I knit her that, and Philip has been looking at her hat and he would like one. So during Vlogmas, he picked out some yarn, and this is the yarn that he chose. This is a Return to Hogwarts colorway from 2018 from Molly of a Homespun House. And here is my hat progress. So there's still quite a bit of stockinette to go. He tried it on, it fits him. He's really liking how it's turning out. I like how it's turning out as well. I think it looks pretty good. It's not doing any weird pooling or anything like that, so it's knitting up really well, and it's nice, simple, mindless around and around knitting, which has been perfect given everything that's been going on. So that's what we're working on. One thing that I do every year is I kind of go back and I look at my knitting statistics and see what I have knit in the past year. So I'm going to do that real quickly right now, and then I'm going to talk a little bit about going into 2022, and then we're going to end the knitting portion and I'll update you with life events. Oh, and give you my announcement. So I knit 24 projects this year. Not too bad. There's a lot going on. In 2021, you know, I stopped serving the churches that I had been serving for the past 4 years with the long haul COVID. There were a lot of doctor's appointments and kind of going through all of the steps that you have to go through to basically be told, with like everyone with long haul COVID is told, all of your tests look fine. I did get my voice back, so that was really good. We had to leave the parsonage that we were living in. We moved into an apartment. We bought a house. We moved again. I had school. Kids had school. There's a lot that happened in the past year. Flint died. Really, 2021, not the greatest year. There were some high points though, such as buying a house, which I'm currently in. And knitting kind of kept me through a lot of it. I definitely didn't knit as much as I might have, mainly because with the fatigue, knitting is tiring for me, even just around and around. So I can't power through in ways that I might have in the past. So, recapping, in 2021, I knit one complete blanket, and I finished this blanket. We'll count it. We're gonna count it because it's done. I knit 2 sweaters. I knit my weekender and something else. I finished the love note. Maybe that's what it was. I think it was the love note. I finished the love note. I knit 12 pairs of socks. Not all of them were for me. I gifted several pairs of socks this year. I'm going to try to gift more going forward because I enjoy sock knitting. And honestly, guys, I have a ton of socks. I don't really need a whole lot more. I knit 4 shawls. I knit a baby sweater and a baby hat. I knit 1 hat, 1 stocking, and 1 cowl. So those are my 24 projects that I can remember. There may have been more and I don't remember what they were because I was not good at updating my Ravelry. I have in my planner this year though a section for knitting projects where I am going to keep track of them as I go, just in case I don't go back to Ravelry, because I don't know if I want to do that. So that is my year in review. Going forward into 2022, one of my major knitting goals is going to be primarily to knit from stash. I did that a lot last year. I want to do that a lot again this year and kind of minimize yarn purchases. I really was good last year. I think I purchased like 2 skeins of yarn with a gift card. I did get the advent calendar and like a sweaters quantity, and then maybe 1 other skein of yarn, maybe 2. I was gifted quite a bit of yarn, but I didn't purchase a lot, and I'm okay with that. I have a lot in my stash. I have a lot of project options in my stash. I will probably permit myself maybe to buy a sweaters quantity if there's a sweater that I would like to work on. I do have a sweater that I plan to knit that I already have the yarn for, and that I think will be what I will cast on once I finish Philip's hat. And that is a sweater by Jennifer Steingrass. She does beautiful color work cowls. I knit one for Abby. This would be one for me because I don't have a color work sweater for myself. So I would like to knit that. I think that's what I will probably knit after that. So the goal, like I said, primarily is going to be knitting from stash. The only exceptions might be if I have a sweater that I want to knit and want to purchase a sweater's quantity worth of yarn. But there won't be very many of those. So that's the primary knitting goal that I am sticking with, and then knitting more socks for myself, also using up scraps, things like that. That's kind of what I'm thinking for 2022, just going through and doing some deep cleaning. I destashed a bunch of things when I moved the first time, which was really good, so my stash is much more reasonable. So that's going to be the goal going forward into 2022. But the other thing that I want to do going into 2022 is, and I've been thinking about this a lot, and I'm kind of nervous even like broaching this and bringing this forward. So here we go. One of the things that I would really like to do is I would really like to create a space for all of you who have been here. There's a few of you. It's not a huge community. I like the size that we are at. But I wanted to create a space for all of you where we could interact more directly with each other than just through the comments in the videos. And I've been drawing a lot of inspiration from Chelsea from Legacy Fiber Arts. I'm part of her Patreon, and these were things that I'd been thinking of doing, and then she started implementing them, and I saw that they could work. And I thought, you know, this is a good idea. These are things that I've thought about doing. I think maybe now is the time to try to implement those. So I have created a Patreon page, and let me explain a little bit more about what that is. Right now it's one thing. It's a $1 subscription or whatever it is, and what that does is that gives you access to a Discord server. For those of you who are unfamiliar with Discord is really just like an old bulletin board style forum. so to speak, where you can have different sections with different topics and you can chat with each other in real time. You can post pictures, you can post project pages, you can post links to things that you find, all combined in one server. It's totally, that is totally free. The reason that I'm choosing to gate it behind a Patreon is simply to keep people who aren't really a part of this community out. I really want it to be the people who are actively a part of this community, the people who are involved in watching the videos, not just a random person who sees a Discord link and joins the Discord, if that makes sense at all. But I wanted it to be very accessible to all people, hence it's $1 a month. That's it, $1. I didn't want to gate it behind anything more than that. I just wanted to keep it specifically for people who are actually interested in the community. There will be a link below for that Patreon, and once you join the Patreon, then you will get the link to the Discord server that you can click on and join. If you are having problems with that, you can always send me a message through the Patreon, and I will see what I can do to help troubleshoot you through joining Discord. It really is pretty simple. I don't think it will be a major problem. It is an app. You can have it on your phone, you can have it on your computer, however you want to do it, it's there. But what it does is it will give you a direct way to interact with me. It will give you a direct way to interact with each other. And I wanted to create a space where we could do a little bit more things like in a community way and be engaged a little bit more in that community perspective. So that is my big announcement. That is what we're doing going forward into 2022. And the other reason that I chose Patreon as well is because that does open up other possibilities for me of other things that I could potentially do there. I'm not committing myself to anything more than just the Discord at the moment because I never know how things are going to roll with me. The other thing that I'm seriously considering doing, and I will let you know if I decide to do this, is doing some knitting live stream through Twitch. I've used Twitch to live stream a little bit in the past playing The Sims, and that's something that I miss doing and would like to get back to. But I also wouldn't mind bringing you guys into this as well as part of like the knitting community. And that gives you an opportunity to interact with me in real time and chat and things like that. Twitch is not scary either. It's also free to be a part of, and anyone can join that as well. So another thing that I'm thinking about, we're not to that point just yet, but it's there. And I definitely want to hear all of your feedback on this. I want, if you have any thoughts or suggestions, please leave them in the comments. Join the Patreon. Let me know there. Let me know on Discord, whatever you want to do. But I think that this is the best way that I can come up with to kind of interact with you guys in a way that makes it open and accessible to everyone. So that is my big announcement. So the link will be below. So I hope to see some of you over there. If for whatever reason, if even $1 is too much and you do really want to be a part of that community, please send me a message directly, either through, I don't know if you can message me through Patreon without being a member of the Patreon, but you can always send me a message on Instagram's probably the best place, or make a comment below and I'll see what I can do to kind of help get you access if it really is that much of a problem. I don't want it to be exclusionary for anybody, but I did want to kind of weed out random people who might come across it, to keep it us. Okay. All right. I have done a lot of talking. As far as life stuff, I kind of told you what's been going on with that. I'm getting really tired, so I think I'm going to end this video here. I will be back. It's the middle of the week, so I might be back next weekend to kind of bring you guys up to speed on things. Check out the Patreon, sign up for Discord through that, and yeah, I will talk to you again later. I hope you all had a fantastic holiday season, a happy new year. I hope your 2022 is starting off really well. I hope that you're staying healthy and staying safe. I know the pandemic is kind of ramping up again, so please do stay healthy, stay safe, and I will talk to you all in a couple of weeks. Bye.